David, only minutes after the game obviously, but I suppose what went wrong is the first question.
I think more to the point is what did we do right? Thought Institute were better with the ball, without the ball, and it just maybe it's a little grounding. Just asked the players what was wrong, and they felt they were a little bit lax. So whenever we played Ballyclare, I thought, and they beat us 4-1, I didn't think it was a fair reflection of the game. To be honest, today I think it could have been more than 6-1. I don't think there's any hiding from that. It probably brings people down to realise exactly where we are, and bring that carried away attitude that we maybe had been building up. There's a way to deal with success as there is a way to deal with failure, so maybe we didn't deal with the success that we've been having quite well. But in terms of the game, I thought we didn't apply enough pressure when they had the ball. I don't think we moved the ball all day really, and it showed that we had to make 2 defensive changes. I think that was the big thing. I don't think as well as they moved the ball today, I don't think they had to do an awful lot to create chances. I thought the chances were created quite easy. So there's nothing we can do about it now. It's done. 6-1. It is what it is, and we just put it to bed, and we have to try and move on. If someone had said to me, whenever you took the job, your first 5 league games you'll win 4 and have a defeat, might have bit their hand off it. So we're in that position now, and that's just where we are.
Fair to say, maybe as a team, sort of 1 to 11, we just didn't quite defend maybe as we should have today. Their movement was very good, but is that fair to say?
I think it's fair to say that the back 5 didn't defend at all, didn't in terms of shape, in terms of willingness to go and head balls or get their body in front of things in the middle of the goal. First of all, I think I would criticise the back 5 first of all, and then the boys in front of them obviously didn't help them in terms of defending from the midfield area. I actually felt a wee bit sorry. We didn't get anything to Giggsy and Robbie. I mean, they've been in a rich uniform. Probably if you were pushing me, that I would probably give them 2 a by ball today, because I don't think a 6-1 defeat is reflective of what they were about today. I think the main reason that we were beat 6-1 was because we had to make 2 changes defensively, and I don't think we coped with them at all day. I thought they were better on a one-on-one basis, and in the wide areas they got at us very easily and got balls into the box which we couldn't deal with. There you go.
We went 1-0 up so early on. Obviously, it was don't think anybody saw that coming. But by half time, game was more or less over.
Yeah, you're always in with a little bit of hope, even at 4-1, that you can nick 1 early doors and see if you can swing the momentum of the game. But I think the way we played the first half and certainly the way we started the second half, I don't think there was ever any danger of that happening.
Fair to say, maybe when we were on that sort of good run of form, when we didn't have the ball, maybe we looked maybe a wee bit open, or we looked as there could be problems.
We did look open whenever we had that. Is that what you're asking?
No, when we were winning games, even when we didn't have the ball, sometimes we looked maybe a wee bit shaky or a wee bit nervous at the back or defensively.
Right. No, I wouldn't agree with that. I think the clean sheets tell the story of what the last 6 or 7 games was about. Apart from the Ballyclare game, where I spoke about that in terms of isolating our fullbacks, and I think they exploited that well, as we had to go for the game later on. But apart from that, I think we've 4 clean sheets out of 7 games. So I don't think there was massive defensive problems leading into the game. The fact that we had to make 2 changes today showed, exactly where we are. If we can compete with anyone with whenever we have probably our best 11-12 about. And we've done that for the past maybe 5 or 6 weeks, but unfortunately, whenever people got a chance today to show their worth in terms of where they are in the squad, staking a claim for a starting position, and I don't think they've done that.
Chris Rogers coming in, made his debut, had to go off injured. What's the situation with him?
I think he's just took a blow to the top of the thigh, and it's too early to say what exactly it is. But I actually thought he started the game really well, and once he took the knock, then it didn't help his cause. But we'll reassess him during the week and see how bad it is.
All about bouncing back, obviously now and away to the Welders in the Cup. How do you see that game?
Yeah, we have to look forward to it now. There's no point moping over a 6-1 defeat. It is what it is. We know what we've done wrong, and we'll work at correcting them. We can only do what we can do. But we'll look forward to the Welders, and it's another challenge that'll be different in terms of how they play, and how Institute play is maybe slightly different. But I think we'll have to look forward to it and see if we can right a few wrongs.
Obviously, before you came, but the Welders seem to be a bit of a bogey team for Larne, but I'm sure you'll not be mentioning that too much this week.
So here, I was unaware of that, but we'll just look at it in terms of preparing for them as best we can, like we always do, and see where that takes us. But certainly, football is not about people having one over you on you all the time. There's no mistake for that. It has to be down to a reason. So we'll be looking to answer questions that were asked today and we didn't answer.
You were keen to stress that whenever we were winning games, that couldn't get carried away. And is it the same now this week? The reaction to this defeat.
Yeah, well, we've had 2 defeats since I've been here. So, and although they were both heavy defeats, don't get away from that. But we've had 1 defeat. It's not the end of the world. But you just take it on the chin and move on. It is what it is.
Finally, just under 2 weeks, I think, to go. The transfer window still open. You were saying in the local paper 1 or 2 you would like to still bring in. Is that the situation?
It's difficult. For different reasons, it's difficult. But if there's people who come up then that I feel it'll strengthen the squad, then certainly we'll be approaching them to see if they are signable, if you like. Sometimes they're not. Just that is where we are as a club. But I'll make no bones about that. We'll try and do what we can do in the transfer market. If people come up, then we'll speak to them. If they don't, then we'll just roll with what we have and see if we can get the best out of the players that's here. That's our job as a coaching staff and as a management staff. We have to get the best out of the people in the change room. So it's not a case of making wholesale changes. People were asking me certain questions about how well people were doing. It doesn't just swing the other way all of a sudden because you were beat once. You have to be realistic in terms of where you are and what you can achieve on the pitch. As disappointing as today is, you would be a fool to get carried away.
And some players are already signed up for next season, but are there others that you're kind of you'll assess between now and the end of the season to see if they're players that you want to still have at the club this time next year? I
think you always have to do that with the playing staff. You always have to see whether they're going to be in your future plans, and so I don't think that's that's the same for every manager. That's a manager's job. It'll not be any different for me. So yes, I mean it's great to have Stuart Scott on board again, and it's good to have Giggsy commit himself. But others may follow, but they have to earn contracts. I think the 2 boys have earned the right to sign for another 18 months, and they've done we're good enough to try and look after them as best we can, within the means of the club, and we've done that. If others I think are worthy come towards the end of the season, but that's the job at the end of every season. It's not any different. So yeah, of course, the players are always being assessed every week in terms of how they're going to do on a Saturday, and then they're assessed on a Saturday in terms of performance. So that goes part and parcel of managing a football club, that you're always assessing players.
Okay, David, thanks for your time. Cheers. See you soon.